Okay, awesome. Welcome, welcome to the Unfckwithable Masterclass. So, for those of you who are joining live, I'm so excited you're here. This is like such a special moment. This is my first masterclass, and it's such an honor to be in space with you. And for those of you who are joining for the replay, hi! Your energy is so felt in this space, and it's an honor. And wherever this masterclass may go, hello to everyone in those future moments. So Alicia is joining us from San Luis Obispo, California. I'm feeling scarcity, mindset, and frustration. Absolutely. That is like so real. I feel like so many of us are experiencing that or have experienced that. So thank you. Jenny, I am from Madison, Wisconsin, feeling excited to learn. Yay! Amber, hello, lovelies. My internet is in and out, so I might unexpectedly drop. Totally welcome to just join in, Amber. And as of now, I can't use video voice. I'm still with us. We feel you, Amber. Thank you for joining. Samantha, also Madison, Wisconsin. Thank you for sharing this, Maddie. Oh, thank you for being here. Amber, I'm from Chicago, living in Madison. So glad to be here. Beautiful. It is a freaking honor to be here. I feel like, yeah, this is just such a special moment. So we will, if anyone else joins in the next 5 minutes, we'll just let them in. But for now, yeah, you're the only Californian here. But I was born in Santa Barbara, so we Californians by blood. So we'll just go ahead and drop in with an embodiment practice, and we're gonna play a song. And the goal of this embodiment practice is to get into your body, right? So like any sort of practice that stems from the body can be really, really, really powerful. So this song is about the wild woman archetype, which I'd like to bring into this space today and feels very relevant for the unfuckwithable energy. And you should also know that arriving to this space, you are already unfuckwithable. And there's nothing that you really need to do, but I'm going to give you some tools on how to tune into that energy and how to be in the physical embodiment of that energy. So if you feel comfortable, I'm going to dance on with you. We're going to play this song and just allow yourself to move your body without judgment, without a need to like change it. Basically, just like tuning into the song, tuning into the lyrics, and just allowing whatever wants to come through to come through. So, and just yeah.
Wild woman.
Rise, rise, wild woman. Rise. When I was a young girl, my mother told me about a wild, wild woman who lives inside of me. She sheds her skin to dance and sing on nights when the moon is full. The wild woman lives within each and every one, so listen, feel that pull. Wild woman, connected to the inner child woman. You are wise and ancient, greater than the pain. Wild woman, infinitely grateful for the rain. Wild woman, savage, fierce, untamed, remain. Wild, wild woman, connected to the inner child woman. You are wise and ancient, greater than the pain. Wild woman, infinitely grateful for the rain. Wild woman, savage, fierce, untamed, remain. Wild, wild woman. She the queen, the empress, the priestess, the goddess. She persists in a system trying to pimp her out for profit. In every breath of fire, you can feel her rage is growing. If you ain't listening to her ancient, ageless knowing. Blowing wind, flowing water. Every mother, every daughter, rising with the tide, divine feminine knows no borders. They say hell has no fury like a woman scorned. I say heaven has no blessing like a woman reborn.
Goddess with a splash of gangster. You gon' do what I need when you get this texture. Now you see, every wild woman you meet is fitting to be your maker. All the gift and the giver, the all in the men, the shake and the shiver, the ultimate rep of the phrase I'ma deliver. Embody the mass, that's why you call my body the figure. It out, the wild, wild woman. I got power to collect the sunshine, so I can shine on you when the sun is having a hard time. Call me the wild, wild woman. Call me heat go-getter, the fire keeper of the globe, letting your daughters know it's okay to be a dreamer. Yes, figure it out, wild, wild woman. Wild women got it figured out. Got that wild, wild woman.
Connected to the inner child. You are wise and ancient, greater than the pain. Wild woman, infinitely grateful for the rain. Wild woman, savage, fierce, untamed, remain. Wild, wild woman, wild woman. Connected to the inner child. You are wise and ancient, greater than the pain. Wild woman, infinitely grateful for the rain. Wild woman, savage, fierce, untamed, remain. Wild, wild woman. Release the story of the victim. The script can be rewritten. Running with the wolves, navigating based on instinct. The mud that bursts the lotus flowers, aching for your imprint. The fruits of your accomplishments can never be forbidden. Are you overwhelmed, overworked? Remember your ambition. Respect existence or expect resistance. Global sisterhood, stand strong, a million women listen. Global sisterhood, a million women listen. No more trying to be polite. Find fulfillment when you reinstill your will to fight. When you're trying to sleep at night, let the moon be your cocoon, warriors of the light. No more trying to be polite. Find fulfillment when you reinstill your will to fight. When you're trying to sleep at night, let the moon be your cocoon. We gon' be alright.
We are remembering. We are not here to be domesticated. We are remembering. We're here to be in the forests of the wild. We are remembering. We are the sanctuary of the streams of our lives. We are here. And we're calling you, sisters, to your wildness, to your wisdom, to your truth, to your body, to the sacred place you call home, this temple of life. We are calling you. Join us, women, wise, wild, and wily.
Beautiful. So if you got to move to this song, I'd love to just hear about how you're feeling now, what's alive for you, what's coming through. And if you can, definitely hop back on video. It's always nice to see you. Perfect. Yay. So what's alive for you now? You can just type in the chat or like anything. I hate dancing on video. I can relate, that was vulnerable for me too. But it's like the fear of being seen, which like is very normal. So embarrassing. Yeah. I feel you. Cool. So why are we here today and what is this masterclass? So this masterclass is called Unfckwithable Energy, creating a self-love practice. And this masterclass is more about how you can create a sustainable self-love practice for yourself that feels in alignment for you, where you're in a co-creative listening, feeling relationship with your body, and it doesn't feel like you need to choose between what you're feeling and what you actually want to do that day. So as we begin this masterclass, I just want to talk a little bit about ancestral trauma and our ancestors. And then we'll also talk about, the darkness and the cycles and moving with the seasons and how these practices can change from season to season. And then we'll also talk about like body consent, body awareness, getting consent from your body, creating that practice that works for you, and then the power of gratitude and how it can transform us. So First and foremost, I'd like you guys, if you feel called, to just go ahead and drop in the chat. And this is going to be like a co-creative space. I'm not going to let you just like sit back, relax. Like, we're going to have a conversation here. So drop in the chat where your ancestors are from. And I'll go ahead first. So my ancestors are from Ireland, France, Germany, Switzerland, and the Czech Republic, which I don't know how to spell Czechoslovakia, so you can just, that's in there too. Yeah, and if you're watching the replay, you can just like say to yourself silently where your ancestors are from. Beautiful. Switzerland, Finland, Poland, Portugal. Beautiful. So many of us come from a lineage of women that either had to deal with, not having enough, or, not like knowing what was coming next for them. Many of our ancestors are immigrants. They came to this land in order to pursue a new life, and not knowing like which direction that was going to be in, like not knowing what was going to come out of that experience. Ireland, England, Germany, Poland, Czech Republic, beautiful, thank you for the spelling, and a smothering of Scandinavian countries, Scotland, England, Korea, Roma, so Nordic from across Europe. Basically, Madison and I are long ago ancestors. Yes, from Czech Republic. Beautiful. So many of us actually share a lot of the same countries and ancestors. And so we come from similar and different regions of the world. But one thing I know is that many of our ancestors probably dealt with things that we are still carrying in our body, things that we didn't necessarily, choose in this lifetime, but inherited. So when it comes to looking at our ancestors, and one second, and how we are carrying this, one thing that we can do is start to look at the ways that, we're still carrying this ancestral trauma into the future, of like the unworthiness, the, to believe that like there's anything less than whole within us. And it's sort of this programming around scarcity. So if we know what we don't want, we almost always know what we do want, which is to feel abundant, which is to feel empowered, which is to feel free, liberated, coming from a place of like infinite love, which we all have these things within us. It's just about tuning into the frequency. So as women, we are also connected to the earth. I don't know if you've read the book. It's right here. Let me grab it. It's so good. Women Who Run with Wolves. And in this book, she talks about a 2 million-year-old woman that lives within us and moves. I'm starting to read it. Yeah, it's so good. So she is like, the wild woman is within all of us. She just got lost through time in the patriarchy. And we were told that we needed to be a certain way, to fit into a certain box, to adhere to a certain schedule in order to fit into what society deemed was normal, so that we could be safe. And now we're moving into a time where it is safe, because we are surrounded in sisterhood by women who are upholding this safety. Like, it's not just one woman doing it on her own. There's not just like one witch in the corner doing this thing. It's like we are all coming together in this space to bring the frequency of liberation and freedom to the table.
Six life lessons that I learned in 2022 in under 60 seconds.
Just mute that. Yeah. So basically, if these programs were embedded in fed us through our ancestors, we have the ability to unprogram them. And just bringing awareness to like what is there, so that like if something around like, I feel this scarcity, I feel this fear, I feel this like not good enoughness, just bringing that awareness to that energy is ultimately like greater than any of our ancestors, dealt with, because they were living through these programs unconsciously. It was something that like they were taught and told to do. So part of this masterclass is going to be like bringing that wild woman up, like getting that safety from within and like learning to cultivate a deeper relationship with yourself. So the next thing I want to talk about is cyclical living. And cyclical living is living with the seasons. So as women, and it's funny, this like was not intended to be a class just for women, but mostly women signed up, and our man, he didn't show. So that's the direction we're just going to go towards. So many of us bleed, and we move through these cycles and these different phases from within. We also live where the moon cycles are constantly changing as well. And living with the different cycles, we know that there are different energy fluctuations that happen as the seasons change. So like during summer, we might feel this like burst and this abundance of energy. And during the fall, we might find ourselves in this more like transitional space of like, getting the light is changing, the seasons are changing. And then moving into winter, it's more of like a yin time. We have more like softness or slowness, or maybe to bring the fire back up, we're like doing more. And whatever that season is coming, all of us feel these different seasons differently, because we also have our seasons within. And so cyclical living is just having that awareness of those seasons and what is alive for you. I'm just going to take a sip of water. And so, yeah, just going back to my notes. Yeah, so cyclical living is about finding the comfort even in the discomfort, even in the darker spaces, even in the void of like not knowing what's going to come next, or not knowing how like tomorrow is going to look, or how the future is going to look, or like even in those places of like needing to be more internal. Like it's about like trusting that life is cycles, and as we cultivate a self-love practice that is serving us, we need to acknowledge these cycles and really look at the way that our body is constantly changing and moving throughout the month, throughout the seasons. And just bringing that awareness and that consciousness to the table is going to be like the number one thing for creating a sustainable self-love practice. I think the thing that happens when we get into overwhelm and burnout is we're ignoring these cycles, we're ignoring these like natural signs of the body. And so we are more in the doing when we really need to be more in the listening, like more in the like, okay, like what am I feeling today? Like what is coming through for me? I'm moving in my business in a direction of like taking my cycle off when like the one or two like first days of my bleed, so I can just like be, and I can like feel my body like cleansing itself. I was actually explaining to my partner the other day what it feels like to be in that process of menstruation. It's like a lot of people do cleanses, right? And during cleanses, people are like, yeah, they just usually sit around and like, I don't, depending on the cleanse, their body is like emitting any sort of like toxin. And like as women, like how powerful are we that like we do this every single month? Not me, I eat all the carbs. Yeah, but like if you bleed, if you're a woman that bleeds, or even like you don't have to bleed to like experience the sensations of like of menstruation, right? So like as women, there's something that is happening in our body, this like energetic clearing that is happening. And as we honor this, we can start to like become aware of how truly powerful we are. Every month, our body goes through this or energetically goes through this. And so, listening to those cycles is going to be so important for creating a practice that is actually serving you. I'm not somebody who does the same thing every day. Like, I don't have a rigid self-love practice, because for me, rigid and self-love, they don't really go hand in hand together. For me, it's more of it's consensual. It's about tuning in to what is being called for in the moment. So one thing that's really important is starting to develop a language with your body. So we've been taught over time to like ignore our body, to just continue working through the pain and just like keep going through the discomfort, whether that's come in school where we had to sit 8 hours in a day in a classroom and like raise our hand for a bathroom break, but like what happens when like you gotta change a tampon, or like what happens when like it's leaking through your underwear, like it's like there's like these subtle moments in our programming that like maybe we don't think about now, but are so relevant in the ways that we honor our body. So now we get to like change the script, we get to change the way that we relate to ourselves, and we get to say, hey, body, I'm listening to you. So every morning I tune in with my body, and I ask for what is being called for in this moment, what wants to happen, what wants to come through. I don't necessarily have the same routine, but what I do have is a set time that these things happen. And I create spaciousness in my morning so that I can be in devotion to my body, to my soul, to my mind, whatever I need to be in devotion to that day. And so that for me looks like waking up at a consistent time every day, setting a schedule, and then allowing myself to have 1 or 2 hours in the morning to like do whatever I need to do. It doesn't necessarily mean that for you that looks the same. It's more about setting the container space so that you have the freedom to be in devotion to your body or your mind or your soul, whatever needs to happen. So that for you could look like a 5-minute practice of meditation. If you have Insight Timer, there's like 5-minute gratitude practices, or there's like 5-minute morning meditation practices. Or if you're somebody who is like walks to work or likes to like walk to the coffee shop in the morning, maybe you're doing a walking meditation. I think this idea of like a rigid routine is like something that is such a turnoff for a lot of us, right? So like the idea of having to sit down for 1 or 2 hours and do the same thing every day like is daunting to me. And I'm sure like some of you, yeah, some of you share the same. And so it's really about, so the number one thing is like body consent, developing a language with yourself. What needs to come through today? And then reading what I like to call the bullshit voice and the real voice, like the soul voice. So the bullshit voice is like, no, I don't want to do it, or like, I don't want to do this because it's just not convenient today and I want to stay in bed and I just want to like, it just, or the body voice is like, oh my gosh, like it would feel so nourishing for me to rest right now. And then maybe like the ego is like, no, but you must do this. So it's like using your discernment to figure out what voice, like what is that soul voice that's coming through, and then using that to channel your decision for the day. So some practices that I like to do in the morning are mirror work practices. So like connecting to myself. When I brush my teeth in the morning, mirror work is really powerful. It comes from the tantric tradition of eye gazing. And eye gazing allows you to like see the soul beyond the physical body, which I find to be really nourishing and easy in the morning, because I'm coming from the dream space, from the dreamland, and I'm not so much like in the self-judgment and the like the mind games playing yet. It's more of like this, it's more of a soul connection in the morning. But that could be different for you. And so I like to do mirror work practices. And I also like to do anything that's like going to get me into my body. The dreamland can be a space where it's very cosmic, it's very ethereal. But as humans, we're living in this human body, in this, here and now moment. And getting into the body can be really important. So sometimes that looks like doing, like putting on my favorite music and like dancing and like moving into that. And sometimes that looks like doing a yoga practice, or, a Kriya practice for Kundalini, or sometimes that looks like, maybe it feels more nourishing to do some recorded hypnosis or listen to a subliminal, which I'll explain that later on because that's going to be a part of this as well. And so the practice is really about gaining consent, having body awareness, listening to the voice, like that true voice, not that like voice that like wants to say small voice, like the voice that's like, hey, this is what we need today, sister. And then from there, creating a practice that feels the most nourishing. So do we have any questions at this point before I go into more? Yeah, and we can all just take a deep breath too. Yeah, beautiful. So what else did I want to talk about? Yeah, and so this is my first masterclass too, and I kind of like allotted for a lot of like time and spaciousness to get through this. And so if any questions come up, or if we finish a little bit early, just know that I'm fully here with you, and we might finish the content a little bit early. And so yeah, so a lot of us have been taught, like being in school from, like age like 5 or 6 up until like 17 or 18 years old, that, we needed to be like, we were given classes, we were given a schedule, and maybe like at some point we were able to like choose that schedule. Or maybe some of us were homeschooled and our parents like chose that schedule for us. And that's beautiful, right? Like having routine, especially for children, is really important. But the stickiness gets into the space of like, okay, doing the things that aren't in alignment with our soul, or like doing the things that like we were told we had to do in order to get the thing that we wanted. And now being able to like recreate that and redesign that in a way that like feels super nourishing for ourselves. I also want to say that like I'm not a gym person. Going to the gym for 2 hours a day or an hour a day has like never been my thing. I don't have a gym membership. I've tried to join the gym and it's just never worked for me. But something I do love and how I get my physical exercise is going on a hike. So that's like another great practice, or like going on walks, or any sort of thing like that. And it's different if you have like a goal to like get stronger, then maybe it's like finding a class that serves you. Yeah, I'm actually going on a walk on this. Yes, perfect. Yeah, so it's like, it's really about stepping out of the rigidity and into like what is really being called for in this moment. And so that might be like the feminine practice of like allowing yourself to have that, like giving yourself permission to like really be in that practice. Sometimes I think what happens too is like we say, okay, I can have this, or like I'll allow myself like to be able to dance to this song, or I'll allow myself to like do this meditation. And then in the meditation, we're like, oh, I should be doing this. Oh, I forgot to do this. Oh, I forgot to text this person back. Oh, I forgot to like tell this person I was doing this today. And then the mind starts to get chattering. So that's where the 5 minutes comes in. If you can do one thing for 5 minutes and start to build that practice, then over time, it's going to create, you can create a longer practice for yourself. So it's just that 5 minutes of being in devotion to the thing that makes you happy, that brings you joy, that brings you into your body, and less of, oh, I need to do this. Oh, I should be doing this. Yeah, beautiful. And then I want to talk a little bit about the power of gratitude. So, bringing gratitude into my daily practice has been life changing as well. And gratitude can come in many different forms, but I think the like scarcity, lack, energy that oftentimes comes through comes from like there's not enough, I don't have enough, like there's not enough for me, I need to play small um because like it's too much for me, or like I can't be this. And like the gratitude brings you back into the present moment of everything you do have. And so the gratitude practice is the practice that I've found always takes me into a place of like abundance. And my mentor, and Alicia and I are in a similar space as well, they practice, so they have us write 20 things that we're grateful for every day. 20 for me is a lot again. So if that's like too much for you to do daily, I get it. 20 things is a lot. But if you can start with just bringing to mind, yeah, 3 to 5 daily, beautiful. You can start just by like bringing to mind everything you're grateful for. And we can even like do this exercise in this moment. So just go ahead and close your eyes if that feels good for you. And you can place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, just connecting to your body. And just start to become aware of your body. Just becoming aware of the rise and the fall of your belly as you breathe in and out. And start to imagine what gratitude is for you. Just not getting into the judgment of what it should be or what it needs to be, but more of what it feels like in your body. What is the sensation of gratitude? Where do you feel it in your body? Just bringing that awareness. And maybe you don't feel it in your body, and that's okay too. And then start to recall something that you're grateful for in this moment. And as you recall something or someone or place or anything that you're grateful for in this moment, just start to bring that thing to mind. What about that thing makes you grateful? What do you have from that thing that you're grateful for? Then you can start to Bring another thing to mind that you're grateful for. And then think about what that thing that you're grateful for gives you, what you receive from that thing. And then you can do that with one more thing, just right off the top of the head, the first answer that comes to mind. What are you grateful for? And then, whatever that thing is, just feeling that energy of gratitude. Feeling it wherever you want to feel it in your body. Just breathing with that gratitude. And when you're ready, you can just open your eyes and come back to the space. And just knowing that, like, you can always come back to this practice of gratitude, and coming back to it on a daily basis, whether that be like in the morning or in the evening or any time of day when you're feeling in this like stickiness, like not enoughness energy, come back to the space of gratitude. And I find that gratitude is being in the energy of gratitude is something that like instantly shifts the energy. It instantly like brings me into a space of like, wow, there's so much. Wow, there's so much to be grateful for. And if that day you're just maybe like in a loop of like I can't think of anything I'm grateful for, then coming back to the body, feeling your hands, feeling your body, feeling like touching your body, tapping your body, feeling your body, like coming back to the body as like a vessel for the soul that holds you, that contains you. Yeah, I find it so easy to acknowledge gratitude for the external, and then I remember to be grateful for myself. Yes, yes. Aho, beautiful. Yes, that's amazing. Yeah, so it's like this gratitude for self, like the fact that like you made it this far, like you're here, you're living, you are breathing. Like you came through the portal of the black hole to be here now. Which like some we all come through that black hole, but we don't really think about it. We just like don't even think about how it's like a miracle that we're actually here, living, breathing. And so bringing that energy into your daily practice can be so nourishing. And I think that a lot of people like a lot of people forget that just existing is really powerful, and that there's like really nothing that we need to do except for be. And from the place of being, then we can go into everything else. But just acknowledging our existence here as something that's important is so powerful. So I am grateful for my body being healthy, friends who ask me to care for their animals when they go out of town, and for the support I have within my friend group. Beautiful. Aho. It took more than 4,000 people to exist for you to exist right now in the world. That is something to be grateful for alone. Yes. Our ancestors, like moving through this lineage, like we're here now. I think that we get so wrapped up in the doing and the performing and the like being enough for everybody else, but really it's like, whew, we're here. Like, and that's really powerful. So one thing that can go hand in hand with that is celebration. So celebrating that you are here. Waking up every morning, celebrating the fact that you can open your eyes, that you're breathing. You're literally breathing. And so you're here on this earth doing the things. And just that breath is a celebration. Getting out of bed, opening your eyes is a celebration. You know, we're taught to celebrate holidays, we're taught to celebrate birthdays, we're taught to celebrate engagements, and you know, some people even celebrate divorces, or we celebrate funerals. It's in a different way, it's more of like a grief process, but you know, all of these things we bring awareness to, but how much do we just celebrate the little things of just being alive, or just getting out of bed, or you know, maybe after you finish a season of like it being really hard and difficult and the chaos and the death portal, maybe just celebrating that you made it, that like you came this far, that like you're still here despite all of the difficult things that you had to move through. And maybe in that moment you didn't know how you were going to get through that, but you're here now. And life is continuing as it is. And so just celebrating those little moments as as important. And the celebration can be like easy as like just doing a little dance, like, yay, I did it today, or like by yourself in the mirror. Or even, you know, making yourself a really like yummy, delicious like cup of tea with like, you know, local honey or agave, or you know, mushrooms or whatever you like want to put in that tea. Just like having it be really simple and not necessarily around spending money, or, you know, maybe even like needing to do anything, but just maybe having the celebration just be a thank you. Thank you. Yay. I'm celebrating you. And so, yeah, so that leads me to consistency. So patterns and new routines are formed over time, right? Like most of us know this. There's the saying that goes around, oh, it takes 30 days to form a practice. Oh, it takes 90 days to form a practice. And I'm not really like here to tell you like what you should and shouldn't do. I've found that 40-day practices have been so good, not only for like believing in myself and finding that like encouragement and that like crossing that threshold of I can't do it into like I can do it. Yeah, 40 consecutive days. Like, but I don't try to put too much pressure on the 40 consecutive days. Like I make it something really simple for 40 days that I'm going to do or not do, like 40 days without coffee, or like 40 days I'm going to say I love you to myself every single day. Or like 40 days I'm going to like put it on you lost me without coffee. Yeah, okay. It's not for everyone. But like for 40 days I'm going to write on my mirror with red lipstick, I love you. And every day I'm going to look at that and I'm going to think to myself, I love myself. I'm here. I'm breathing. I love myself. And so a 40-day practice doesn't necessarily need to be this like, for 40 days, I'm going to run 5 miles. And then I'm going to make a protein shake. And then I'm going to like eat I don't know, anything, like whatever that means. You know, it doesn't have to be this like rigid thing. It can just be one thing for 40 days that you're going to do. And, or just like, you know, 40 days, I'm gonna just allow myself like 5 minutes to sit in silence and just be with myself in the morning. So it's really about creating something for yourself that works for you, not against you, that feels fun. Like maybe that means like dancing in your underwear, like I don't know, whatever that is for you. It's about fun, because if we're not having fun and if we're not like feeling good about why we're here and what we're doing, then like what's the point? Like just to make money, like just to like go to work and do the thing? No. Like we're here to like thrive and to create and to expand and to grow. It's like a light. and and so it's really about connecting to that daily and whatever that is. And it could even be like crying, like maybe like in the morning you just feel like you need to cry. Wherever you need to give yourself permission to do the thing that you want to do, that is contributing to the person that you want to be, like just go ahead and give yourself permission to do that. And yeah, and so consistency is really important because it starts to build trust with yourself. And when you build trust with yourself, you start to trust the outside world as well. So it's like trusting your body, like that what feels good for you every day, and nobody can give you that answer. That's why this is kind of like not your typical masterclass of like, and like maybe you thought I was gonna like give you a routine and like, but what I'm really here is to show you how to create that for yourself, because there's no one way to do it, and there's no right answer or one size fits all kind of thing. It's really just about the guidelines of like what you need to set yourself up to do to be successful. And so consistency is really important. And sometimes it means that you're going to have to do something that it's good for you, even though you kind of don't want to, but you're going to feel better after you do it. And you have to like use discernment to call yourself out on that. And then it also means like, even though you might let somebody down to do the thing that you want to do in order to take care of yourself, that person is just going to have to be let down because you got to take care of yourself. And then the people who are meant to be in your life are going to just recognize that as like, oh my gosh, like how grateful am I to have somebody who is taking care of themselves in my circle. Like how grateful am I to like that I'm surrounded by people who are taking care of their body, taking care of their mind, taking care of their soul. So we'll just do a little recap. So creating a sustainable self-love practice is number one and first and foremost about body consent. What feels good for my body? What feels good for my soul? What feels good for my mind? How do I want to nourish myself today? How do I want to move? How do I want to feel? And so developing that consent with your body. Next, it's about tuning into the feminine. What is a practice that's going to light me up, that's going to nourish me, or that's going to allow me to like be in the embodiment of the person that I desire to be. And then it's about the power of gratitude, coming into the energy of gratitude, like being thankful, existing, acknowledgement. I love you. You're here, you're existing. I'm grateful for you, body. Grateful for you, mind. I'm grateful for you, soul. And then it's about celebration. Celebrating yourself for the small things, for the little things, for getting out of bed, for breathing, for not getting out of bed. It's about consistency and containment and setting yourself up to be consistent. So whether that means 5 minutes or an hour, but just setting that time frame so that you can exist in whatever way you want to exist. Yeah, so that's what I've got for you for creating a sustainable self-love practice. And yeah, It may sound strange, but coffee is my celebration go-to. Yes, I love the ritual of making coffee in different ways. It makes me feel so happy. Yeah, I can agree with that. There is like a beautiful, and I came back to like drinking coffee. I don't drink as much. It was like going pretty strong there for a while. Um, but yeah, I love the ritual as well. Yeah, if you guys want to share something like you love, I drink about 12 ounces a day. Beautiful. Or like if you want to share in the chat, like something that you love to do, or like that feels like ritual space, or like feels like good for you that you do on a daily basis. Yeah. I pour over style. Oh, I love pour over style. Yeah. My mom likes to do that too. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and just take a sip. Breath work every day. Yeah, beautiful, Jenny. I love that. Breath work is so good. I love it. Hmm. Mm, beautiful. Yeah. So, as a gift for coming live, I'm in the process of figuring out this big Yeti mic that my friend lent me, but I'm going to record you guys a subliminal message that you can play in the morning or whenever you would like, around self love and safety and belonging. And yeah, so that's my gift to you. So you'll receive that in the next week. Subliminals are really great. They're like affirmations that are turned down. And so they go directly to your subconscious mind. And I've been working with subliminals for probably a year now, and it's like totally transformed my life in the most subtle, simple ways. And I'd love to like give that to you. You can take it or leave it. I like to listen to subliminals when I'm hiking or when I'm driving, or like if I'm taking a shower. It can just be like a really simple practice. Um, and it's allowed me to like install new beliefs around um, like self love and just having things be like feel safe and easy. And so I'd love to share that with you. And then let's see what else. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So, do you guys have any questions? I feel like I covered a lot, but I just wanted to open the space of like I can answer anything for you around this practice, or we can like workshop some things, or yeah, anything that wants to come out.
When you talked about mirror work, is there something that you specifically like say to yourself when you're looking in the mirror, or is it something that you're internally thinking when you're looking in the mirror?
Yeah. So usually at the beginning of mirror work, it's just about getting to know oneself. I might even do like a recording on this. So if I do that, I can share that with you. So mirror work is just about first and foremost getting to know yourself beyond the physical body. So usually I like to start in silence, and I make contact like left eye to left eye. So you can look into a hand mirror, you can look into a bathroom mirror, whatever mirror you like. And usually I like to do it in like a space where nobody's gonna walk in. There's like safety, there's privacy, and you're looking left eye to left eye, and it goes beyond the physical. So you'll just start to breathe. And as you breathe, you'll just continue observing, and some thoughts might arise, right? So, like, sometimes we don't have the best skin days, and we're like, oh my gosh, my skin, or like, the voice that comes naturally, right? I always suggest to people I work with mirror work is like, don't necessarily like tune out those voices, but just become the observer of them. And as you become the observer of them, sort of allow yourself to like, if you can, bring yourself back to a positive state if you catch yourself like becoming critical. So this is a really great way to like see yourself mirror to mirror, like as yourself versus like a lot of times we just like quickly are brushing our hair in the mirror, maybe we're doing our makeup, but like we're focused on like doing the thing versus like in mirror work, it's more about connecting to the soul and connecting to your energy. Mirror work becomes really powerful, like to start to see your own magic. Like it's the one practice that helped me to like really start to see that magic and to feel that magic for yourself. Because I think a lot of people will see our magic before we see our own magic. And we all have the magic. So the mirror work is a really helpful practice to start seeing your own magic, but also to transform um, like thoughts that aren't necessarily like kind. And you can start to like rewire your that inner voice that way. Yeah. So that's how I like to start. And then with time, you can add in affirmations. I love you. You're beautiful. You look amazing today. Damn, girl, get it. You know, whatever. Like becoming your like cheerleader, you know? So I like mirror work as a space to do that. Of course, you can do that in any space. But yeah, eye to eye, face to face is really good. Yeah, my usual comment and affirmations. Yeah. Mirror work also especially good when you're not feeling the best about yourself. And if you know you're not feeling the best that day, going in front of a mirror and like seeing yourself, like, I see you, like, I see you, I see that you're sad, I see that you're experiencing this discomfort in this moment, and I just want you to know that I see you and I hold you. And like having those conversations with yourself can be really powerful too. Oh, yeah, I love your freckles, your curly hair, beautiful. Yeah, or like, you're a bomb ass coach. You got this. Yeah, you look good today. That's my brother loves that song. You guys have heard that song? Have you guys heard that song? It's like, you look good today. It's like, it just like repeats. It's like not the best vocals, but it's like, it's really funny. I'll have to share that. Yeah. What tactics are the most useful to you when you're feeling the worst and affirmations aren't really landing? Yeah. And for me, affirmations don't always land when I feel at my worst, which probably like a couple weeks ago, I was like in the deepest freaking death portal ever. I was like, oh my God, I haven't felt this in a really long time. What the hell is happening? Um, so there's a couple things I like to do. First and foremost, grounding. Like usually when I'm not feeling good, it's because I'm like way up here in the mind. And so it coming back into the body is like always my number one thing, especially if I'm like in any sort of like trauma response, I'm really triggered from my reality. Like whatever is coming up for me in that moment, it's about grounding. So like depending on where I am, it's first and foremost coming back to a breath. Okay. Breathing, making the breath audible, like making the breath audible, like you can like physically release stress by just like hearing that sound of relaxation. And then grounding can also be like physically getting on the ground, finding myself in child's pose in a cocoon and holding myself like very firmly, or like tapping my body. I also write myself a lot of notes. So there is a really, really, really great, what is it called? I think it's called futureme.org, where you can write yourself a letter and like deliver it to yourself. We can't always like plan that, but I guess like one thing that I do is like I go back into my journal and like when I'm in a good moment, I write myself like different letters of like what to do when I'm not feeling good and to remind myself. It's almost like you could write a letter of like for me it would look like, okay, dear Madison, like even in your dark places, like even when you don't feel worthy, like even when you're not feeling good, come back to like XYZ. Or like when you're not feeling good, remember that this is only the moment and this moment is going to pass. Or when you're not feeling good, like I remember when I first like went on my plant medicine journey in Mexico, like my whole world turned upside down, and I wrote myself a letter of like who to call, what to talk to, like who to talk to when I wasn't feeling good. So I wrote like call your mom when you're not, like when you feel like unsafe and you don't know who to talk to. Or I wrote like my cousin, who's like one of my really good friends, like call your cousin. And so like setting ourselves up like to write a letter to ourselves to read in those moments can be really powerful. Yeah. So Alicia does EFT. Yeah, EFT is really good as well. And then sometimes what needs to come through in that moment is sitting in the discomfort and being with the pain. Like I know sometimes it's not comfortable, and um we want to like nobody likes pain. I don't know anyone who like, I mean some people do like pain, okay? I don't know. But many of us don't like pain and we don't like being in the discomfort. But sometimes sitting with the discomfort and becoming your best observationalist of like, okay, I am feeling this right now. I am feeling this pain and just naming it. I'm feeling this pain. I'm feeling this tightness in my chest. I'm feeling this unworthiness. I'm feeling this like, and this is kind of what EFT is, EFT tapping, which can be really powerful practice too. Like I'm feeling this pain right now and I'm noticing it in my chest and it feels really heavy, and or I'm feeling really angry right now and it feels really uncomfortable and I want to tap out and I want to like go and find a coping mechanism, but I'm just going to sit with this pain and I'm feeling this pain, and then putting a voice to the pain, and then maybe following it up. EFT is very similar to this again. Putting a voice to it is like, okay, I know what I don't want. If I know what I don't want, so what do I do want? Okay, I really want to feel at peace. I really want to feel good. I really want to feel happy. I really want the feeling in my chest to feel lighter. I really want to feel content. I really want to feel loved. I really want to feel accepted. I really want to feel safe. And then just like naming those feelings, naming the discomfort and naming what you do want can be really powerful. I know that's kind of like affirmations, but when you combine them with EFT, yeah, you tap on like different meridians of the body, which is really powerful. That could be a really good thing to share with you guys on Instagram. EFT tapping. And Alicia has an EFT tutorial on her Instagram as well. So if you want that right away, you can head on over to her Instagram. So yeah, do you guys have any other, yeah, thank you. Do you guys have any other questions? Yeah. I also wanted to make an announcement and just make myself available. I am going to be start offering sliding scale one-to-one coaching sessions. So to like make the price accessible for everyone, you know, whatever like budget you're working with. And then I also am feeling this really deep call to start meeting in community more and like doing some sort of like sister circle through Zoom, like maybe like once or twice a month. And so more details on that to come. yeah, I don't know, I feel like now is the time for community and connection, and that would be something that would be offered for free. So, yeah, I just feel like it'd be really nourishing to have a space where, you know, healers, like witches, mystical women, priestesses, medicine women, yogis, whatever you call yourself, artists, to come together and just share in space and sisterhood. So, yeah, awesome, cool, beautiful, yay, awesome. Alicia's holding a community cord cutting ceremony. Awesome. Beautiful. All right, guys. So let's just close with a few breaths. We're finishing up a little bit early. Thank you for here, I'm going to stop recording. Thank you for those of you who are watching the replay. Thank you for coming.